Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Dr. Pawan Jagannath Tambre, working as Assistant Professor in Chemistry at Maratha Vidya Prasarak Samaj, Nashik. In this video lecture, we will see the concept of naming enantiomers, that is the RS system of nomenclature. Dear friends, this topic is very important for all the students of chemical sciences. They may belong to 12th class, graduate student, postgraduate student, or they may be aspirants of NET set or other competitive examination. This topic is highly important to all those students. And this topic is having quite a few rules and tricks. And because of that, I divided this topic into three different parts. Thus, we will have three different videos on RS system of nomenclature. And I'm damn sure if you watch these three different videos, you will be able to solve any problem based on RS system of nomenclature. So let's start with our first part, which is nothing but basics of naming enantiomers, that is RS system of nomenclature. Here friends, look at this molecule. In this molecule, this carbon atom is attached to four different atoms or group. So this is nothing but a stereocenter. And if you look at this molecule carefully, you will find that there is no symmetry operation in this molecule. So this is a chiral molecule. And we know that chiral molecules are optically active. At the same, if you look at this another molecule, this molecule is also having similar type of structure, but there is just differences in arrangement of atoms or group across this chiral center. Now the name of this molecule is lactic acid and name of this molecule is also lactic acid. So both are isomers of lactic acid. When we went through physical and chemical properties of these two molecules, we found that the physical and chemical properties of both the molecules are exactly matching. So we cannot differentiate these two molecules on the basis of their physical and chemical behaviors. However, we notice that when these molecules are subjected for polarimetry study, then their behavior towards plane polarized light is quite different. This molecule was found to rotate plane of polarized light in clockwise direction, and this molecule was found to rotate plane of polarized light in anti-clockwise direction, but with equal angle. So this molecule can be differentiated by their behavior towards plane of polarized light. And these two molecules are nothing but mirror images of each other, so they are enantiomers. But when we thought deep, whether on the basis of arrangement of atoms or group across this chiral center, is it possible to name this molecule? No. Both the molecules are lactic acid, only their behavior towards plane of polarized light is different. So we can recognize them as either plus lactic acid and minus lactic acid. But is there any relationship between this plus and minus sign and arrangement of atoms or group across this chiral center? So there is no such relation. So after looking at the structure of molecule, it is not possible to comment whether this molecule will rotate plane of polarized light in clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction. And this was the drawback in naming enantiomers. In order to overcome this drawback, the three great scientists, Kahn, Ingold and Prelog, in 1966, they have given certain set of rules which are very famous as a CIP rules for naming these enantiomers. And that methodology or phenomena is very famous as RS system of nomenclature of enantiomers. So let's start with our journey towards RS system of nomenclature. In order to understand these CIP rules, consider that we are having a chiral carbon which is attached to four different atoms or groups, and these atoms or groups are given priorities like 1, 2, 3 and 4. where 1 is having highest priority and 4 is having lowest priority. And when we view this molecule across a chiral carbon, keeping lowest prior group, that is fourth number group, away from the observer, then we can see this molecule in two different ways, and depending upon that we can name these molecules. So for example, if this carbon atom is attached to four different atoms or group, where this one is having highest priority and 4 is having lowest priority. In the same way, this carbon is attached to four different atoms or group, where one is having highest and 4 is having lowest priority. So when you look at this highest prior group 1, 2 and 3, how you read this group, whether you read them in clockwise direction or whether you read them in anti-clockwise direction, depending upon that, these molecules are given some name. If you read this 1, 2, 3 group clockwise, then such configuration, such arrangement is called as R arrangement. This is R isomer. And if you read this 1, 2, 3 group in anti-clockwise manner like this, obviously the fourth group must be away from the observer, that is from you. Then name of this enantiomer is S, where R means rectus and S means sinister, which came from word clockwise and counterclockwise. And this system is commonly known as RS system of naming enantiomers. Now, these are the rules which we need to follow when we name any enantiomer. In that, first of all, we need to find out the stereocenter present in molecule. The chiral molecule may have one or more than one stereocenter. So, in order to name that enantiomer, first we need to locate the position of stereocenter. Second, assign priority to each substituent present on chiral center from highest to lowest priority, say from 1 to 4, as we did in last example. Then orient the molecule so that the group with lowest priority, that is fourth priority, is away from the observer. Then fourth rule is treat the three groups projecting towards observer, that is 1, 2, 3, and last is if reading of group 1, 2, 3 is clockwise, then that molecule is said to have R configuration. And if reading of group 1, 2, 3 is anti-clockwise, then the molecule is said to have S configuration. So these are the rules which we need to follow to name enantiomer according to RS system of nomenclature. Now in this rule, the second rule says to assign priority to each substituent from highest to lowest. Now how to assign priority? In order to assign priority to atoms or group which are attached to carbon atom, again there are certain set of rules. And if you remember those rules, you will be able to do this job. Now we will move towards the rule which we need to assign to priority to atoms or groups attached to chiral center. So the first priority rule says that each atom bonded to the stereocenter is assigned a priority based on its atomic number. Higher the atomic number of atom attached to chiral center directly, higher the priority of that particular atom or group. So for example, if these are the different atoms or group which might be attached to chiral center, then we can assign priority to them. For example, the chiral center hydrogen is attached, or CH3, NH2, OH, or these groups are attached. Then the direct point of attachment is either hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, sulfur, or any of these halogen. Then priority to these atoms or group is given on the basis of atomic number. If atomic number is higher, then priority will be higher. So suppose if hydrogen and CH3 is attached, then CH3 will get priority because carbon is having highest atomic number, and so on. So priority increases in this particular way. In this set of examples, this iodine will be having highest priority as its atomic number is highest, and hydrogen will be having lowest priority as its atomic number is lowest. So this is first rule of assigning priority to atoms or groups. Then rule second, if isotopes are attached to chiral center, then isotope having higher atomic mass number will be given higher priority. Say for example, if we are having some isotopes of this oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, phosphorus and so on, then the isotope which is having highest mass number will be given higher priority as compared to the isotope which is having lower mass number. So suppose if a chiral center is attached to hydrogen and deuterium, then among these hydrogen and deuterium, deuterium will get first priority. In the same way, consider that a chiral center is attached to oxygen 16 and oxygen 18, and we need to give priority to these oxygens. Then in that case, oxygen 18 will be given priority as compared to oxygen 16, as atomic mass number of oxygen 18 is higher than oxygen 16. So this is the second rule of assigning priority. Third rule, if priority cannot be assigned on the basis of atoms which are directly bonded to stereocenter, then look to the next set of atoms and priority is assigned at the first point of difference. So what this means? If you look at this example, you will understand what this rule means. Now consider that these four different groups are attached to stereocenter: CS3, C2H5, CS2NH2 and CS2OH. And if you look at these four different groups, you will find that the point of attachment in case of all the group is same, that is carbon atom. To the chiral carbon, this group is attached with the help of carbon. This group is also attached by means of carbon. This group is also attached by means of carbon, and this group is also attached by means of carbon. So when we try to assign priority in such case, then in all the case atomic number of attaching atom is the same, that is 6. So how to assign priority? In that case, we need to move to second atom of the group. For example, here this carbon is further attached to hydrogens. This carbon is attached to carbon and hydrogens. This carbon is attached to nitrogen and hydrogens, and this carbon is attached to oxygen and hydrogens. So now priority will be assigned on the basis of next atom. So here atomic number is 1, 6, 7 and 8. As atomic number of this oxygen in this case is higher, this group will get first priority among these four, and this group will get lowest priority. If suppose second time also same atoms are attached, then we need to move towards third atom, fourth atom and so on, and then we need to assign priority according to CIP rules. The next rule says that groups containing double or triple bond, that is multiple bond, are assigned priority as if both the atoms were duplicated or triplicated in that particular multiple bond. So let us look at one example to understand this rule. If suppose this group is attached to chiral center, or this group is attached to chiral center, then the first point of attachment is carbon. Here also carbon, but this carbon is attached to this Y by means of double bond, and here it is attached to Y by means of triple bond. So it is considered that this carbon is attached to Y by 2 single bonds, and this carbon, as it is having triple bond, attached to Y by means of 3 single bonds. So when we try to assign priority, then this group will get first priority over this group. So this is fourth and last rule according to Kahan-Ingold and Bloch to assign priority to atoms or group across stereocenter. So these are the set of rules which we saw. First, we need to find out the stereocenter present in the molecule. Then we need to assign priority to each substituent from highest priority to lowest priority. We just saw the 4 different priority rules. We need to use all those. Then the third important rule is orient the molecule so that the group with lowest priority is away from the observer. Treat the 3 groups projecting towards observer in the order highest to lowest, that is 1, 2, 3, and if this reading is clockwise, then the molecule is said to have R configuration, and if this reading is anti-clockwise, then molecule is said to have S configuration. So these are the CIP rules to assign RS configuration to chiral molecules or enantiomers. Now we will see certain example and we will try to cover all these rules in those examples. Consider this is a molecule and we need to assign R or S configuration to this molecule. If you look at this molecule, this carbon is attached to 4 different atoms or group, and when we try to assign priority, then this carbon is directly attached to oxygen, carbon, carbon and hydrogen. Obviously, this OH group will get first priority and this hydrogen will get last priority. Among these COOH and CS3, first point of attachment is carbon and carbon. So we move to next point of attachment. Here, this carbon is attached to oxygen and this carbon is attached to hydrogen. So COOH will get priority as compared to CS3. So in this case, OH will get first priority, hydrogen will get last priority, COOH will get second and CS3 will get third priority. Now if you look at this molecule, keeping this fourth atom away from you in the fashion 1, 2, 3, and when you read it, whether it is clockwise or anti-clockwise. When I read it, it is 1, 2, 3, it is clockwise. So configuration of this molecule is R configuration. So we applied all the rules over here. We located stereocenter, assigned priority, and we saw that the fourth group is away from observer and this 1, 2, 3 is reading clockwise. Thus this molecule is having R configuration. The same way, if you look at this molecule, you can assign priority like OH first, COH second, CS3 third and hydrogen fourth. Fourth priority atom or group is away from you, that is observer, and when you read 1, 2, 3, it reads in anti-clockwise fashion. So this molecule, this structure is having S configuration. So this is how you can apply CIP rules to assign R and S configuration to molecules. The same way, if you look at this third example, here this stereocenter carbon is attached to 4 different atoms or groups, NH2, hydrogen, CH3 and COOH. And when we try to assign priority over here, then the first point of contact here is nitrogen, here hydrogen, and in these two cases carbon. So this NH2 will get first priority for sure, hydrogen will get last priority, and among CH3 and COOH, COOH will be having highest priority. So first priority goes to NH2, then COOH, then CH3, and last priority goes to hydrogen. Now this last prior atom or group is away from the observer, and when you look at this 1, 2, 3, you read them in anti-clockwise manner. So the configuration of this molecule is S configuration. So this is how we can find out R and S configuration of chiral molecules. I hope you understand how to assign R and S configuration to molecules. Now what is next in this particular topic? Up till now we saw The rules for assigning RS nomenclature to molecules, we seen priority rules, and we saw some examples where we actually assign R and S configuration to molecules. Now suppose if the fourth atom or group is not on backside, it is either in the plane or it is pointing towards the observer, then in such case what to do? How to name that particular isomer? How to assign RS system in Fisher projection formula? What are the rules for that? And if suppose a molecule is having more than one stereo center, then how to assign RS configuration to such a molecule which possesses more than one stereo center? All these are the questions for our future lecture. I hope during this video lecture you understand the basics of RS system of nomenclature and you will be able to give RS configuration to molecules. In next video lecture, we will explore certain more topics. Thanks a lot for watching this video. Thank you.